Okay, and we're back. This is part 3. If you haven't seen part 1 or 2, immediately stop. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go back and watch episode 1 and part 1 and part 2, and then we can play catch up. If you had missed those releases, shame on you. It's because you're not subscribed. Make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell so you do not miss opportunities anymore. Okay, so let's go ahead and get logged back in here. For those of you that have been following along, welcome back. Let's see if some of these menus have changed again. It still hasn't changed. So there's still some things in here that are kind of messed up, but we'll just chalk that up to lesson learned. No big deal. It looks like some of my other changes have been reversed, so let's go ahead and check everything out, make sure it's going to work okay. Let's go back into system settings here. Let's select right where it needs to be. 100%, 60, right. Pardon me for just kind of going back through here real quick. Make sure these all get set back the way they were. I'm not explaining every one of these again. If you missed it or don't know what I'm doing, go back and watch part 1. That's where my other cursors are missing. We can fix that real quick. This is going to be a sudo apt install. I'm going to do an install recommends on this. Wow. And that's literally that. It's going to install all the recommended packages that come along with it. And this is going to be Oxygen. Actually, I need to make sure I get the correct file name. So I want to do apt search Oxygen, and we're going to grep I cursors. And right there it is. So it's just called Oxygen cursors, as you can see right there. All right. Control L. Recommends Oxygen cursors. It helps if you spell recommends correctly. Okay, so those are done. We'll probably have to either go away from this. There they go. So I had to move away and come back, and now I bet I can find my yellow one again. There it is. And that's how you install cursors in KDE. Awesome. There is also some effects that you can do in here too. Let's do, where are those effects at? So wallpaper, general behavior. Desktop effects. Okay, so all I did was search for it. Now what I want to do here is I want to do slide back is what it's called. So I'm going to do that, turn that on. Now the cool thing about slide back, and this is a KDE thing, okay, is when you now switch windows, it causes the window that's losing focus to slide in behind the other one, which is kind of a cool effect. And there's all kinds of different effects you can put in here. Mouse animations, you can do all kinds of stuff. You can do wobbly windows. You can do all kinds of stuff. You can have, when you switch between virtual desktops, you can actually turn it into a 3D rotating cube between desktops and things like that. Wobbly windows, I'll demonstrate that real quick for you. I really don't like wobbly windows, but we'll demonstrate it. See how it wobbles the window? Some people really like that. I don't. So I don't normally turn it on. But there's all kinds of effects you can do. All right, we'll keep slide back in there. All right, that's done there. I want screen edges. I need to turn that screen edge thing back off. There we go. All right, so now that that is done, let's do some fun, cool stuff. Maximize that. No title bar. Crank this up. All right. Apt update. More packages that can be in. Okay, you know what? No, we're not going to play with it. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we will I'm going to install some common packages that I normally use. This is going to be sudo apt install. We're not going to install the recommends. Actually, we probably should for completion. Install. Now, if you install the recommends or even the suggests, you're going to pull in packages you don't necessarily need. So if you're in a position where you need to be miserly about your disk space, you probably should skip these, the installs and the recommends, and just conserve your drive space. I'm going to do the command tree or the package tree. Actually, before I do that, remember I did command not found earlier. Let's try typing the command tree, and it says tree is not found, and then it tells me what package I need to install to actually get that command. That's what command.found and package command.found does, is it tells you that the tree command is not there, but then the package command.found not found tells you how to install it, which is very helpful, especially if you're brand new to Linux. That's why I had you install those earlier. All right, so what I'm going to do is sudo apt install recommends. Install recommends. I'm going to do tree, git, wget, curl, htop. Let's do a fast fetch, see if fast fetch is in there. Okay, so this is the tree command, like I'll demonstrate that for you. Git, so you can get repositories from GitHub or some other location. Wget is a command line tool used to fetch files from web servers or web pages, actually. Curl is another utility that can be used similar to wget, but also has other uses. Htop is a system monitoring. Fast fetch isn't even spelled correctly. It's fast fetch. And then I also want to do bash top if it's available. So we're going to find out. All of them are available, or it would have given me an error message. So here's what I was talking about. It's going to install these files because I told it to. And this install recommends is going to pull in this one for sure, because this is a recommended file. But since it says install recommends, it turns it into a dependency. So now we're going to pull these dependencies in as well. This is the install suggests files that we could also pull in, like fan control and strace and that kind of thing. But we're not going to do the suggests. We're just going to leave it alone. Okay, so none of those packages will require a reboot, so we're not rebooting. Now, if you look at the banner on my home page and some of the thumbnails that are going to be on the command line series, you will see something that looks like this, and that's this utility right here, bash top. It's pretty. It has all the it's a system monitoring tool, as you can tell. It has your CPU cores up here at the top, along with their temperatures. Okay, memory is over here. Your network usage is down here in the lower left corner. Your disk space is here, and then your processes are right here. Let's say we wanted to manipulate these. We're using the direction arrows. Okay, let's say I wanted to kill bash top. I can highlight it and then hit K for kill. Go ahead and try it. Do you want to kill bash? No, I do not. Okay, so you can do it that way, but also the correct way to escape out of this is to hit the Q button, or Q for quit. All right, it's a pretty nifty little thing there. But you also have this other one that's a little bit more old school. It's not the oldest school. The oldest school is top. Actually, the oldest school is PS, but I'm digressing a little bit. So htop does look a little bit different. It looks older, but it basically has the exact same information on it. I still have my CPU bar at the top, my load averages, my uptime. I have 8 gigs of RAM, and I have 2 gigs of swap, which isn't even being touched. That's why we only did 2 gigs anyway. I can still do the directional arrows, and down at the bottom you see the list of the F keys that I can use to manipulate each one of those processes. Also Q for quit. So let's do something a little fun. So remember I said that curl is a tool similar to wget that you could pull in information from websites. We're going to do curl WTTR, short for weather, by the way. That's a spoiler alert. WTTR.in. Okay? Once we hit that, it's going to go out. It's going to find where I'm physically located, which in this case is Rogers, Arkansas. And it will put an animated weather report right in my command window. So this is also a kind of a header or a teaser into the command line series that's coming up. Make sure you're subscribed for that. We'll go over this and probably 100 other things that you can do on the command line. I'm not going to go too far into depth because the first video I'm going to put out after I'm done with this series here, How I Debian, it's going to be a full announcement for the entire CLI library. So make sure you're subscribed, and so you can be notified about that. Control L. There is some more things that we can do that's kind of fun. We can do C matrix, which you've probably seen on other channels, not CMatrix, C matrix. And we also have SL, which SL, I'll get into that in just a second. So we'll go ahead and install those real quick. All right. So just as a little bit of a backstory, one of the commands we do is ls, which is list, and it lists the contents of the directory. Well, a lot of times you get in a hurry and you type SL instead. So as a joke, the developers decided that they were going to actually turn that into something. SL is not the opposite of list. It's actually a steam locomotive. Awesome. So we also have some other things we can do, like cowsay, and we can also do LLCat. Come on. There you go. So if you do cowsay and then you tell it what you want it to say, it prints out a little cow and it puts your caption in there. LOLcat's even better. So we're going to use the exact same thing, but instead of it looking like that, we're going to pipe that to LOLcat and colorize it a little bit. We can also do the cat, which means concatenate. We can do cat etc apt sources, not sources, sources.d, and we'll do Debian. Okay, so when we do a cat, just with one single file, it will print that out to the screen, or it echoes it back to the screen. Okay, we can also pipe that to LOLcat. It's just a fun little thing. It's just not really required, but it is kind of cool. It also helps you understand and realize that the command line isn't just all drab and boring and a bunch of typing. There's some fun little things that you can do with it as well. Okay, so the tree command. I'm going to do tree, and then the dot means my current directory. So basically it's going to list out in a tree format everything that I have in this directory currently, which is basically just my wallpaper, and I do have a couple of them. Okay, wget we used was already installed. We used that to pull down the keyring for Debian Multimedia Player, or yeah, Deb Multimedia repository, and that kind of thing. We can also Another one we can install is we can do MOC, MOC, which is short for Music on Console. And basically what that is, and you do that with the MOC P, and basically you can navigate through to your music, and this is a music player on the console, so you don't have to worry too much about having a graphical one. You can also, let's go ahead and quit out of that. Let's open another window here. And this one, actually, let's minimize this one. Close. Let's minimize this window first. There we go. Now I'm going to right click and open a new one. So if I wanted to do some work and I got Firefox up on this other side, or if I'm trying to write some scripts or code or whatever and I want to jam out, I can just go ahead and load my music, which I don't have on this machine, into MOC and just play it from there. I wouldn't want to do it anyway. You know, the whole copyrighted kind of, don't want to get myself into trouble for playing music over YouTube videos anyway. Q makes it quit, and Control D will close that window. And actually what Control D does, it's a good thing to talk about. Let's say I'm going to add a couple instances here. Bash, and then let's go ahead and sudo to root. All right. Actually, let's do this in a different. Let's do this in the other window. That way it's easier to see. I'm going to bash again, and then I'm going to sudo, which you don't need to do the sudo thing. I'm just opening several instances. You'll see what I'm talking about in a second. All right, so now I'm at root, right? So if I do a Control D, it backs me up one. So sudo I, okay, pulls me into the root shell, and then the Control D backs me back out, takes me back out one step. If I do Control D again, it'll get rid of that other bash that I did. And then if I do Control D a third time, it will close that terminal window. All right. So Fast Fetch is a newer version of NeoFetch. Fast Fetch is actually written in C, so it is insanely fast compared to NeoFetch. It also contains some different information. If you don't know anything about either one of them, basically this is it. You'll get your little ASCII logo for the distribution you're using, username at the host name. This will tell you what you're using, which in this case is Trixie Sid. This is the Optiplex Micro 7020 that I'm using. I'm using this kernel, these packages, this version, blah, 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 all the way down. And that's what that's for. It's not live. It does not update regularly, so it's not going to just sit there and continually update. It can if you do a watch command. I don't know what this is going to do to its formatting though. Watch actually actively monitors the command that follows. Yeah, see, it kind of messed it up. But every 2 seconds it will actually Control C to cancel that out. Every 2 seconds it will actually refresh. Okay. So anyway, I think that is about going to do it, to be honest with you. We can go ahead and Control D out of that. Everything else on here is really would just be a tour of KDE Plasma 6, which I've already done tours of Plasma 6, so I'm not going to repeat myself as far as that goes. But anyway, if you like these videos, like to see more, make sure you click like, subscribe. Make sure you stay tuned for that command line series that's coming up. The announcement will be immediately after this video as far as the recording goes. For you, it'll be the next release date. I release videos every Wednesday and every Saturday. Anyway, you have yourself a good one, and we'll see you next time.